Hi, everybody. Welcome back to week 4 of NFL's Bettors Edge. And, we've been pretty good the last 3 weeks. So let's keep it going. We're going to have 5 plays all on Sunday action here. And we're going to kick it off with 3 early games, 1 afternoon game, and the Sunday night football game. Before we get to it, though, don't forget, like and subscribe. We put this video out every Thursday evening. We put the Thursday night football out on Wednesday night, and we put the Monday night football out on Saturday. So make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss out on all the content we do here daily. And don't forget also, use that promo code EDGE to get the best bets. We like all these plays, but our best bets, we hold them back for our people that pay us the money for our betting advice. So make sure you go over there at picksandparlays.net. Use that promo code EDGE to save 20% off. Okay, Eagles and Bucs. And this is an interesting matchup. I would have said last week before the Bucs go in and just really didn't show up that this Bucs team is going to win this division. And then at the other side, I would have said maybe the Eagles are struggling and maybe they're not going to make the playoffs, and then they go and get beat the undefeated Saints. So interesting game. Eagles, I'm just kind of shocked, 2.5-point favorite, total 45. Scott, why don't you start us off?
Oh, it seems like so long ago, Craig, that I was touting this Tampa Bay rush defense as being back, baby, and looking as good as they did 2 years ago. And then the Broncos went out and ran for 136 yards on them. With who as a featured back? I have no idea. But I do know that they now get Saquon Barkley and the Eagles. What kind of numbers do you think Saquon's going to be able to put up? He's averaging 5.3 yards per tote so far. He has scored 5 touchdowns for the first 3 weeks. I think this is going to be a really, really steep challenge for this Buccaneers rush defense. And the defense on a whole is not doing a great job. They're giving up 5.5 yards per play, 4.9 yards per rush attempt. And now they have to go against one of the better rushing teams in the NFL in the Eagles. And the Eagles themselves as a team have averaged 5 yards per carry. Stopping the run has also been a sore point for Philadelphia. Problem is the Bucs, they don't have a back to take advantage of it. I think this is going to come down to the team that runs the ball the best. I think that's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll take the road favorite. Give me the Birds minus 2.5.
There you go. I actually have a same game parlay in this one. Very similar to what you said. I like the over rushing yards for Saquon Barkley, and I like the Eagles on the money line. I just think the Eagles are the better team. Sirianni, he makes some really bonehead decisions when it comes to going for it or not going for it. It seems very random at times, but it worked out for him against the Saints. And the Bucs, like you said, I just don't think they quite have the firepower or the defensive propensity to be able to stop the run continuously. Because if you do stop Saquon, all of a sudden then Jalen Hurts pulls it, runs around the side. Then you try to stop that, then Saquon hits you up the middle. So same game parlay, over rushing yards for Saquon Barkley and the Eagles on the money line. What do you like, Cam?
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I like the Eagles here. The Eagles, they don't look how they've looked in years past. They lost to the Falcons. They beat Green Bay early on. The whole Jordan Love thing that could have been an issue. But just piggybacking off what you guys are saying, Saquon's finally with a winner, and you can tell he likes it. You can tell the atmosphere is good. Jalen Hurts hasn't really been himself. He hasn't really figured it out. The arm's not getting it going. He's not hitting the receivers. He's not throwing for a ton of yards, but the running is working. And I think with the struggles Tampa Bay showed a week ago, the Eagles need to make their move. Washington's 2-1. They're competing at the top of this division. I think this is the Eagles division. I'm going to take the Eagles to cover the number, do the work to unfortunately give Tampa Bay their second consecutive loss.
Yeah, I mean, both Tier-1 teams, as we're recording this on Wednesday evening, 63% of the public is on the spread with the Eagles. So a little worrisome that we're on a big road favorite, but sometimes, even the road favorites win every once in a while when they're heavy public money on them. So, all right, let's go to the Rams and the Bears. And a Rams team that I'm gonna give them credit. I kind of wrote them off last week. I just thought the 49ers were deeper, and both of them were extremely banged up. But, I mean, the Rams were down, double digits and come back and win in regulation. Facing a Bears team that doesn't scare anybody. I mean, I hate to say you have a bust after 3 weeks, but it might be the case. So, Cam, what do you like in this matchup?
Yeah, just completely off topic. This could be a terrible two years in a row, terrible number 1 picks, just not really working out. The Rams are still beat up. Puka Nacua, injured reserve. Cooper Kupp's out. Keenan Allen's questionable. I just can't get behind this Chicago team. Los Angeles has the veteran leadership. They have, I think, the better team overall. I'm going to take Los Angeles to do enough to figure it out again. They're a road dog. I think they're going to cover the number. I think they're going to win the game. Los Angeles, if they're going to make a move, if they're going to try to push their way into the playoffs down the stretch, they have a tough schedule ahead. They got to win games like this against bad teams, young teams that haven't figured it out yet. I'm going to take the Rams to do enough to cover the number and get the road win for the plus money.
I had kind of thought if the Rams lost last week that maybe the Dolphins would reach out and try to make Matt Stafford, that maybe Matt Stafford would be available and they could, because the Dolphins obviously need some help at quarterback. And but obviously now the Rams, I mean, you look at that division, pretty winnable division. I'm going to take the under in this matchup. I think like under props, everything under in this game. I just think the Bears offense is not good. The defense is good. And the Rams just so banged up on the offensive line and all their weapons on the perimeter. I think this screams under. So what do you like, Scott?
Well, you guys talked about it a little bit. Caleb Williams finally had a big day, 363 passing yards, 2 TDs. Woohoo! All it took him was 52 attempts to get to that number. And he also threw 2 picks. This is a Bears offense that's averaging just 5.3 passing yards per attempt. That's third lowest in the league. Of course, you guys touched on it as well. Rams are extremely banged up. No Cooper Kupp, no Puka Nacua. But they did outlast a severely depleted San Francisco team last week. I think there's one stat that sticks out to me that I think it's fool's gold. If you look at pass defense, you see that the Rams are allowing 9.8 yards per attempt. However, this is a Rams team that's played Arizona, Detroit, and San Francisco, 3 teams that all have very good passing games. They're definitely taking a step down in competition with this Caleb Williams-led Bears offense. The Bears, they couldn't stop Jonathan Taylor at all last week. I think they're going to be unable to slow down Kyren Williams, who really showed out against San Francisco. I think this is going to be a hard-fought win. But once again, I think the road team getting the points is the play here.
Yeah, and I see some threes out there, so definitely shop this line around. I would imagine at 3, they're going to get a lot of action. In fact, 67% of the public is on the Rams at 3 right now, but there are some 2s and halves out there. So, all right, the next game we're looking at, Vikings and the Packers. And who would think that the Packers could lose their, love, go down after that, basically last play of the game, or second to last play of the game over in Argentina, right? Well, I think it was Argentina. And now they're 2-0 with Willis at quarterback that basically the Titans said, you're not even good enough to be our backup. And he goes to the Tennessee and, of course, beats them. Vikings undefeated. I definitely did not pick that. I thought they would probably be very competitive this year. I did not expect this. But I'm going to take this Vikings team plus 2.5. They've proven that they can get it done with a multitude of quarterbacks the last 2 years. Sometimes when you have that, you just say good coaching wins in the NFL more often than that. You're giving me 2.5. I do some 3s out there, so search that line. I'm going to take the Vikings actually to win this game, but I will take the points. Cam, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. We touched on Saquon Barkley earlier on, and he's on a winner now, and he loves it. He's playing great. Sam Darnold leads the league in passing touchdowns. He looks like a completely different guy, a completely new guy. He is rolling. He looks fantastic. The Vikings are 8th in the league in points scored, averaging 25.5 a game. 8th in the league in passing yards, averaging nearly 230. Willis has looked great with Green Bay, but I think the better team is getting the points here. The Vikings are undefeated. Sam Darnold is questionable. He has a bone bruise from a hit he took last week. Isn't expected to actually miss any time. He's just not practicing right now. But I like this Vikings team. I think they're going to get it done again, extend their lead in the division, stay undefeated, get to 4-0 with a road win and cover in Green Bay.
The one question would obviously be Jordan Love in this game. I meant to mention him. Questionable. I kind of think if you're Green Bay, maybe you don't play him until you need him. I mean, if you're winning without him, why rush him back and then maybe he's out multiple games? What do you think, Scott?
I don't know what's been more surprising about the Vikings start this season. The fact that Darnold looks like certainly a candidate for comeback player of the year, or the fact that their defense has given up just 10 points per game. You guys touched on it earlier. Sam Darnold, 8 TD passes, 78 completions. He's hitting 68% of his attempts, and he has really developed a nice rapport with Justin Jefferson. Jefferson had 6 catches last week for 81 yards in that surprise victory down there at Houston. But this is going to come down to me. I think it's going to come down to a player that just switched sides there in the NFC North, and that's Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones having a great season for the Purple People Eaters, 5.2 yards per attempt. I think he's going to be able to run amok against this Packers defense. I think Love's going to be back. The Packers going to need to generate a running game to have any kind of a shot against this Vikings defense. Good luck. Vikings giving up just 71.3 yards per game on the ground. I think that's a tall order. I'm not sure how the Packers are going to be able to move the ball once the Vikings are able to pin their ears back and come after Jordan Love. For the third time in a row, Craig, I'm going to take a 2.5-point road underdog in this one.
Well, searching around, I do see some threes out there with some extra juice, like minus 120 juice. So search that around. If you're 62% are on the Vikings on Wednesday and 60% on the over in this game. I actually kind of think leaning towards the under, though. I actually think Green Bay's defense is pretty good, and like we said, this Vikings defense is good. All right, let's move to the afternoon game, and I would be remiss if I didn't say how good this Commanders team is. I mean, I think they're for real because they beat my Bengals, so they have to be for real. They go to Cincinnati. They do not punt. They do not turn the ball over. They go for it on fourth down early and late and basically said, hey, we're not going to give you a chance to win. They might have to do that again because their defense is a little suspect. Cardinals minus 3.5. People are obviously not believers in this Commanders team, and a total 50.5. What do you think, Scott?
Well, this is kind of interesting. This is the first time the Cardinals have been a home favorite since 2022. Yikes. And you're right, Craig. Washington has scored on every drive that wasn't a kneel down over the last 2 weeks. That's just phenomenal. They went 5 for 6 last week. They went 7 for 7 the week before, albeit with field goals. But this is a team that can move the football. Now, the Cardinals had a little fool's gold in the first couple of weeks. They had the second highest scoring offense after week 2, but the Lions kind of showed them who their daddy was, and they held them just to 13 points last week. Daniels was extremely good in his contest last week, 21-23, 254 score on the ground with his legs. And he's got 38 carries for 171 yards on the season. That's 4.5 carries. Not bad for a QB. Harrison's found the end zone a couple times in the last 2 games, 3 times to be exact. He's got 9 receptions, 194 yards in those 2 games. I think he is going to absolutely abuse this Commanders secondary. As you talked about, Washington's 2-1, but that's all about the offense and holding on to the ball. The defense is not good. They've now had 2 of their games finished with 57 or more points this season out of 3 contests. I think this one easily goes over the total. High number 50.5. Don't care. This is soaring over. Give me the over. Give me the over.
High for a reason, as they say, because both of these defenses a little suspect. I mean, the Lions should have scored way more points. They had tons of opportunities that they missed. And I want to add, the Cardinals had tons of opportunities. I don't know. They just it's like the first week they didn't throw the ball at all to Marvin Harrison. Now they kind of like forcing it to him. It's like you got to spread it around. You hit who's open. It's like Patrick Mahomes. Why is he so good? He hits whoever's open. He don't care who it is. So when you look at this game, it's 56% is on Arizona, 62% on the over. But I'm gonna ride a prop here. I like Jalen Daniels over his rushing total. I mean, his ability to the read offense. I expect it. I haven't seen the official number out yet. I expect it to be in that 40 yards carry category. I think he's going to end up with 60 plus yards. I think he's going to have a couple big ones because this Arizona defense isn't great. So I like a player prop, Jalen Daniels over his rushing yards. Cam, what do you like in this matchup?
Yeah, I agree with everything y'all are saying, but this Arizona team, they've been a tweener, they've been on the rocks and everything like that. They're in a division with a 3-0 Seahawks team. Everybody else is 1-2. Kyler Murray's back. It's time for him to start making his money, earning his money. Well, Washington is the 29th worst defense in the league. Arizona is the 20th worst, so that plays to the total. But Arizona has the 8th ranked offense in the league. I think Jalen Daniels has been phenomenal to start the season, but I do think he's going to have some issues here. But I really just think the Arizona offense is going to be the difference. I think Kyler Murray, much like you just said about Daniels, is going to get out and run, going to be able to hit his receivers, going to be able to spread it around. John Connor will probably have a good game against a lackluster run defense from Washington. I'm actually going to take Arizona to cover the number, get the win, and even their record at 2-2 as they start to try to turn things around heading into October.
What's been unbelievable with Daniels is the lack of turnovers the last 2 weeks. I mean, usually, you know, these great high-picked quarterbacks, you know, they make great plays, but they make some bonehead plays. He has looked like a superstar in the making, and for sure, he looks like the rookie of the year. So there you have it in that game. All right, we're going to finish it up with Sunday Night Football. Maybe the most impressive team in the NFL. And if you would have said it was going to be the Bills, I would be like, before the season, I'd be like, no way. No way. I thought they could be good. I thought they could win the division, but I did not think they would be winning in the fashion they are. And they're facing a Ravens team that, I mean, they're what, this far away? The guys on the to probably being undefeated. I mean, they should have beat the Raiders. They were up double digits late in that game. The guys on the line in the other game, and they killed the Cowboys. So this team could be undefeated. And then what would we have here? I mean, we'd be really facing a really good game. But we see the Ravens here, 2.5 favorite, 46.5. And we've seen a lot of public money come in on this game. It is 70% on the over, 70%, 53% on with the Bills at the spread. So a lot of people on the over. Cam, are you believing this is a high-scoring game?
Yes, I really, really hate. You said, you know, how much money there is on the over coming into it, because that was my thought the whole way. Both teams are lighting it up. They just are. Baltimore is number 10 in the league, just under 24 a game. Buffalo's number 2 in the league, 32.5 a game. So they are both lighting it up. But at the very same time, the number 9 ranked defense for Buffalo, but Baltimore is 26. Baltimore is scoring, but they are giving it up. That's why, like you said, they gave up the loss to the Raiders. They gave up all the points late. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think this one's going to see a ton of points. Both teams are going to get up and down the field. Both teams are going to air it out. You know, this is one of those games that could have emphasis on a really, really high seed in the AFC come playoff time. I think both of these teams are playoff teams, but both of these teams, to me, could score 30 in this game. 20 for sure. I think this game's going to see 50 without an issue. I'm going to take the over.
I kind of was leaning towards the over, but hard to, like, you know, jump on board. You jump on the car when it's 70% of the public's on it, because Vegas doesn't usually lose when it's like that. So I'm staying away from the total. I think the Bills are for real. Like, they're doing it the right way now. It's like they're going to run the ball, play good defense, and don't turn the ball over. When you do that, you win in the NFL more often than you lose. I think the Bills are for real. I'm taking Bills money line. What do you like, Scott?
You know, this is a Ravens team that would seem to be a little more comfortable playing in the NHL. They have do a really great job for the first 3 periods, and then they kind of head for the locker room in the fourth quarter, forgetting that there's still a game to finish. They did it against the Chiefs. They did it last week against the Dallas Cowboys, as they actually dominated that game for the first 3 quarters and then allowed Dallas to score 19 points straight and make it a 3-point game with an actual shot to win there at the end. I'm with you guys. I like this Buffalo team. They are a very complete team on both sides of the ball. Baltimore should be right in the same conversation with them, but they've been a little more inconsistent. The one thing Baltimore does well, though, is they stop the run. And I think if you turn this Buffalo team one-dimensional, again, that gives opportunity to get some pressure on Josh Allen, and it gives you the opportunity to limit big plays, which is what you've got to do with Josh Allen behind center. And the Bills, they have struggled to stop the run this year. They've given up 118.3 yards per game, and I think that's only going to get worse after they get to face probably the best running quarterback in NFL history, if not the, certainly one of the, along with Derrick Henry, who seems to have found a second life there with Baltimore. The Bills are coming off a short week. Last week, we liked them because they had the extra rest day. This week, I think it penalizes them. I think Baltimore gets it right at home and covers the 2.5.
Yeah, I mean, interesting matchup of because, you know, when you're early in the season, it's like who you played matters a lot. You know, if you face the Ravens, you might give up a lot of rushing yards in the past week. And if you face, you know, Arizona Cardinals you might give up a lot of passing yards. So I think sometimes these numbers can be a little skewed as far as the rankings are concerned. And I think that also affected because the Bills had the blowout win against the Jags, and they had the blowout win against the Dolphins when Tua got injured. So the Bills team, I just don't know if we really know how good or bad they are because they faced the Cardinals and they faced a banged up Dolphins team. And last week, I mean, as much as we want to think the Jags are good, their record and their last end of last year says they're not good anymore. So I'm interested to see how good this Buffalo team can be and see if this Ravens, they were the overall number one seed last year in the AFC. Is this team maybe more like that, or have they taken a step back? So interesting game. There you have it. Those are your 5 free picks for week 4 of the NFL. Don't forget, check back and get our Sunday night football game. It will be out on Saturday, so make sure you check that out later on Saturday here at our channel. Good luck.